All right, what's the big game this week, Kelsey?
I obviously am going to be watching Ole Miss playing Kentucky. This is going to be the first time that we're going to get to see Ole Miss play like a team that's actually closer to their level or even in the same realm as them.
If there is an upset this weekend, this is the upset.
I really hope this isn't the upset. That is going to be a dagger.
Let me tell you, I hope it's an upset. All right, I did say that, but I also, in that clip that wasn't included, I thought Ole Miss would still win because they had I just didn't think Kentucky could keep up for the whole game. I know they could make it good. They got a great defense, but I didn't think they could keep up the whole game. By the way, if you hear the noise in the background, they're doing my yard at the exact same time we're doing this podcast. How does that happen? They have every day in the week, they come the exact same time I'm doing this podcast.
I thought you moved your studio to NASA and there was a rocket launch because I've never heard a weed whipper sound it literally
like
sounds
a rocket.
It sounds like you're taking off in the background. Yeah.
I just, Elon Musk is my next door neighbor now, and he's just shooting off rockets from his backyard. But man, I'm so happy for Kentucky. Mark Stoops, he was a defensive back coach for Miami in 2001 through 2003, I think. That's where we became good friends. And man, I don't know how he's not at a bigger school. Look what he's done for Kentucky. And this man, A&M should have hired him. I know A&M's 3-1, but they should have hired him. Mark Stoops is a phenomenal coach. Congrats on the win, bro. Congrats on the win. All right. Welcome to Comments on Canes. I am Michael Yo. Me and Forrest did our almost instant reaction. The views are amazing. We got so many comments from it. Forrest, I want to ask you, how do you think we should approach the show? Should we start with a little bit of the comments before we get to Cal? Talk a little bit more Virginia. How do you want to flow with it?
Some comments. We addressed them live, but then a lot of people watched it afterwards live, so there's new comments that have been in there. So I think we could do that. Yeah.
You want to address that first?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's do it. What do we got?
Obviously the catch at the end is the big, is the headline from the game. We talked about it on the almost instant reaction, but a couple people came in and said there was enough evidence, or it's at Mr.Wright7803. There was enough evidence if we could all see the ball moving while they were coming down. I think he's saying we could see the ball moving. Somebody else said, they said at ASX Zone said there was another YouTube channel with another angle that showed evidence of no catch. ESPN did not show every angle. ACC
well, here's the thing.
Angles. Yeah.
Here's the thing. We saw all the angles ESPN had. What they're talking about was a person on the sideline with a camera that caught a different, that was like a person that was just on the field that caught that angle. Here's what I'm like. These people, I got to calm down because the people making these comments are like, well, there's evidence that it wasn't a catch. Well, there's also evidence it was a catch. And what I'm saying is 95% of the time, that call is not going to get overturned. And especially with Miami, last year, we had two clear safeties, and they were called not safeties. So there's so many calls that go against Miami. Don't act like, oh, well, he fumbled the ball. If it was so clear cut, like you said, it wouldn't have took 6 minutes. That's my only point. My only point is we don't get those calls. And 95% they would never have overturned that. Do you agree or disagree with that, Forrest?
I 100% agree. Also, the fumble in the Georgia Tech game last year.
I mean, come on.
Probably the most famous call in college football history, the Ohio State National Championship game. I mean, I don't know if you know this. That ref is apparently in the NCAA referee. They have their top 10 calls listed, made, and they have that in their top 10 for some reason. So the one where we lost the national championship, it's like, what? How's that in the top 10? Get out of here.
Yeah. So when you people are leaving comments saying there was clear evidence, hey, it could have been, but don't act like there was evidence that went against it too. Because people are like, well, there's this picture. Well, there's lots of pictures where it looks like he caught him. And that, like I said before, I believe the right call was made, but they called it a touchdown. And I was told that they got to call it a touchdown so they can actually review it. But you don't need to review it if it was an incomplete pass. Mm-hmm. It was an incomplete pass, Yeah. So, I mean, two wrongs don't make it right. The wrong was calling it a touchdown. The second wrong was kind of overruling yourself, kind of breaking a rule because the evidence wasn't 100% clear. And even in the video, it wasn't 100% clear. And people were like, well, we saw this other camera angle. Those other camera angles, ESPN didn't have. So I'm happy. Look, I don't think it was a catch. But what I'm saying, it could have went another way. And usually we don't get that call. That's all I'm saying.
And I'll just say one more thing. We won. It's done. I'm sure it'll like follow the team this year, but another thing I'd say is even if we lose that game, doesn't mean we're not going to make the playoffs. So I think people just need to calm down about it. But we won. So
you know what I'm interested though? This is what I was thinking, and I said this other day. Cam Ward always gives us hope, but I'm interested because we talk about culture, we talk about the team. The biggest players, some of the biggest players are transfers. I wonder what would happen if we lose a game. You know what I mean? Because that's when we really will find out what the team is made of. When you win it, everything's good. But when you lose, it's almost, I don't want them to lose. I don't think they will lose this season, 12-0. Like I'm talking about the regular season.
Yeah.
Playoffs is a different story. We got to see who they play and how they match up and all that stuff. But it's interesting to see how a team would react. Like Florida State lost, and then they just kept losing. And it's not like they don't have athletes. You know what I mean?
Well, that brings me to the next comment here, and we did mention this again too. But we do have players on this team that play, and they play all out. We mentioned Arroyo's play, and there was another comment at Mike M-AM5RN or OM5RN. I agree, Michael Yo. Nobody's talking about that. He saved a touchdown, and they got nothing out of it because of the fake field goal. That is, I wouldn't say that's true anymore. More and more in the last 24 hours in my feeds on my social media, I see that play with a little arrow next to him running all the way down, a la DK Metcalf from a couple years ago. I think that it did arguably save the game. And so I think that, you know, what you're talking about, what's the character of the team? Well, that you don't think he's showing that today in film?
100%.
Like, so I think there's a different character on this team, you know.
I do too, but I'm just interested to see what would happen if they ever lose before the playoffs. You know, it's a different thing. Like, you know, the ugliness could turn its head, but I think they're good. I think, you know, Cam Ward brought us back at the end, but here's the difference from Arroyo and Cam Ward. Cam Ward forced himself in a situation where he had to bring us out. Arroyo was a star of that game, and I really think he saved the game. Like, he was the hero of that game. Cam Ward dug his own hole to dig out of, you know, and he's a great player, and he's phenomenal, and hopefully he wins the Heisman. But Arroyo running 60 yards, 120 yards, they said, to catch this dude and then not to get any points after it. I mean, that dude to me, he's the player of the game. Player of the game.
It would have been 34-17 then.
It would, and I hate to say it, but that's a big, especially the way the defense was playing. That would have been, I don't want to say impossible, but it would have been really tough.
At what is it? I can't even. It's not a real word. At DONPHOTHILAT 6977. You know who you are.
Who makes these names?
I don't know.
Who are these people, man? Just what's wrong with Steve?
Yeah.
Add Steve. There you go. Now I know who you are. Who the hell are these people?
I know.
He said number 24, Malik Bryant, playing hell of a beast. Go Canes. And we didn't mention him at all in the live podcast. And yeah.
I mean, that dude was a beast. He stopped the fake field goal, and he was playing great, man. These young guys are coming in and doing some work. Yeah.
And then just last couple comments here about AJ Allen, because we did talk about AJ Allen. Of course, you know, we're not going to go a podcast without talking about AJ Allen.
That's right.
Two comments at Big Frank 7179. There you go. Rudy, it's better for you.
That's a good name. I like that. Yeah.
AJ problem is a liability in the passing game. He needs to know how to block. If you can do that, he'll be on the field more. And at base DJ Iron 3889. He thinks it's a silly talking point because Damian is the bell cow back, and they're rotating 3 to 4 backs a game, and it throws off his rhythm. Your RB1 should be not reduced to 14 carries. Teams are selling out to stop the run, and Dawson isn't committing to the run. When they committed to the run in the second half, he had 130 yards. They had 130 yards in the second half. So he thinks we shouldn't even be spreading it out, you know. But
can I tell you why that's not? Let me tell you why that's not a good comment. What this guy just said. He said they weren't committed to the run the first half. They were. They just couldn't do it. Second half, they started playing better. don't act like the first half they were like, well, we're not going to run this half. We're just not going to. No, they tried. It didn't work. It didn't work. Committed to the second. They wanted to run the whole game, not just the second. It just worked out better in the second half. And let's be honest, Cam Ward ran for 57 of the yards. So really, they ran for 30-something yards rushing with the running backs. In the second half, they ran for another 60. So we're saying that's committed to the run, but it's 60 yards more. It's 30 yards more than the first half. It's not like it's game-breaking numbers because Cam Ward had 52 or 57 of the yards, so they didn't play better in the run game. And it doesn't to me, the reason why they can't run is because you need a different style of back. You got to change it up more, man. You got to change it up. Like I said, I think all these running backs are great and they can start anywhere. But I just think you got speed. You need speed against some teams, not power.
I said it a little bit yesterday, and I kind of echo it again, is love Cam Ward. He's the best player on the team, best quarterback we've ever had. We've said all this stuff. But him being the Heisman favorite is great, but it also means that he's going to try and get his every game, yards and touchdowns and stuff like that too. And that might be affecting the running game as well too. I know you're saying we tried it, it's not working, but I'm just saying I don't think we stick with it as much as we have in years past. And, if we keep winning games, fine, but that's definitely something there, I think.
Well, but here's the thing. Cam Ward moves the ball unlike any quarterback we've had in the last 23 years. So I would, we got great running backs, but if he can get 25 yards in a pass because you got great receivers, do that all day long and then work. Running game to me can be second. I'm fine with that when your quarterback is Cam Ward. Yeah. When your quarterback was somebody else, you need to run it. You need to establish your run game.
One last comment. At Forrest Shaw said, Wisconsin shit the bed. So that's in there.
The entire state of Wisconsin also said Wisconsin shit the bed.
That's rough. That's rough in the game.
Oh, man. Yeah. It was, we did well against, we do well in we're definitely a first half team. We do very well the first quarter. We do very well the first 7 minutes of the second quarter. And then from there, it's a crapshoot. And boy, Alabama just steamrolled. It was a terrible weekend for Wisconsin.
You mean USC?
No, USC.
Oh, I'm sorry. USC. Sorry. It was awful. Awful. The entire weekend.
Yeah, I mean, like 21-3 or 21-6.
We've had moments now where we can say like, hey, we were beating this team for a little while, and then it just all went to shit, and it went terrible. And between that and then the Packers game yesterday, there was a lot of spotted cow consumed in Wisconsin because it was brutal to watch.
Here's the difference between Cam Ward and that quarterback from Wisconsin. I mean, it's a big difference, but that quarterback, you were just waiting for the self-destruction. He's not a good quarterback. That's why TVD won the job. Mm-hmm. He's not a great quarterback. And when they were up, I was like, oh, they still going to lose this game. Yeah. They're still going to lose because they don't have the firepower on that team, Wisconsin.
No.
And I love Wisconsin. I love them.
Yeah. Braden Locke, as we have mentioned many times, needs to change the spelling of his name, and I think he would maybe pad his stats a little bit more, and maybe people would get behind him because they would know how to pronounce his name correctly, because the way he spells it now, it's like somebody just took alphabet soup and just threw it on the wall and was like, that's how you spell your name, bud. It drives me nuts every time I see it. So I was looking up stats throughout the last couple of games today, and just every time I see his name written, I'm like, I don't know why it drives me nuts, but it sucks when you lose that bad and your name's spelled like a freaking kindergartner spelled it.
And big shout outs to Rudy and his t-shirt, Cafecito Comedy. Yeah. That is a big night. Our good friend Justin in Miami Improv, he throws it out there. So he's rocking the shirt. Cafecito Comedy. Let me take a picture. Let me take a picture of this and send it to Justin. Hold on. I'm taking this picture for Justin. This is for you, Justin. We doing it. All right, Forrest, do we move on to Cal now? Oh, my God. He got to – Forrest got the Shakira shirt on representing Miami.
Yeah. Right. This means laundry day in the Forrest household. Yeah. Right here. I wear the Shakira shirt. But
I'm wearing J-Lo underwear, so we're matching. So it's great.
I left my Ricky Martin t-shirt in the closet. I'm sorry. I'll wear it next time.
I hope that was not pun intended.
That was great.
Can we do Cal now, Forrest?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. So let me tell you, I watched some film on Cal. They play Florida State. I mean, first of all, DJU is terrible. I mean, this dude is – I know that's about Florida State. But, man, I heard he might not even start this week. So, I mean, they ran his side. You know, when you pay as a person $800 to $1 million and then you got to bench him because they're 1-4. I mean, the dude was awful. And he threw like 20. I'm going to mess this up, but it seemed like he threw 20 something passes for 177 yards. It's like, it's pathetic. I will say, the reason why I'm talking about Florida State, I will say they did run the ball okay on Cal. That their running back number 9, Tafuya, I don't know how to say it.
I don't know how to say it either. Tafuya.
I'll just say number 9. He ran for about 80 yards. He looked great in the game. Yeah. One thing I did notice, Cal really couldn't run the ball at all. So I think our defense is going to hold up well against the run, which is going to open up that quarterback, because that quarterback threw for over 300 yards, I believe, against Florida State. He's a good quarterback.
Fernando Mendoza, he flew for 303 yards. They rushed for 107 as a team. And that was the stats for Cal. Florida State, you're right, 16 of 27 for $177 for DJ. And they rushed for 107 when you take away the sacks. I mean, when the sacks are added.
Oh, so my goodness.
132 without the sacks. But so Florida State couldn't do anything. And that was kind of like what I mentioned yesterday was, Cal does have a defense. Look, they've given up, they're 12.8 points against, 12th in the nation. They played UC Davis, fine, but at Auburn, then San Diego State, and then at Florida State. So they've played legitimate programs, and they've proven their defense is legit. I'm not saying we can't score against them. I'm just saying they have a good defense. So
I will say this. Auburn's not good. They lost to Arkansas the next week. I mean, I think they were
playing. Game for Cal, though. A road game.
Huh?
Still tough. A road game.
Yeah, it's still tough, but I'm not impressed by that. It's Auburn. They lost 2 games in a row. It could be tough, but they're not good. That's the thing. They're not good. Tough game, but not good. Like Virginia Tech, they might not win another. I mean, they'll win another game, but they're not great. We just played horrible against them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I'm not impressed by Florida State. I'm not impressed by Cal. I watched the tape. I think the quarterback could give us troubles because he's a dual threat quarterback. And usually, if you can kind of run around in the pocket, you can make some plays here and there. But I just think Miami's defensive line is going to be too strong. Bain is coming back. They're going to stop the run, and then they're going to get to the quarterback. They'll wear him down. This will be more like a USF game. I'm not going to say they're going to score in the 50s, but I think it'll be close the first quarter, and then it's just going to wear him down. It'll just wear him down in Cal. And I love Cal's Twitter. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's so funny. They're not about disrespect. They're all about respect the Canes. So they're doing – these funny memes of the Canes and Cal rolling up joints. It's like woke versus like instead of disrespect, it's respect the Canes. It's so funny.
They have the communists versus the convicts. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're making fun of themselves at the same time. Like it's self-deprecation, which I kind of thought was fun, and all these AI memes and stuff that are
in Miami. It is funny to see all the Miami fans because I know the ones that troll. And they're like, "Yo, we can't even do that. Like, this is awesome."
I think there's one where the bear is giving the ibis, or the ibis is giving the bear some cocaine, and then the bear is rolling up the weed.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Very.
And
fun.
let's talk about game day is going to be there. That was the game I was supposed to go to, but I'll be at the Pasadena Ice House. And now I'm not regretting it at all because we sold out the first show. We got a couple tickets left for the second. But that would have been a great game to go to see game day Miami. And they're only there because of Miami, let's be honest. 5-0, Cam Ward, everybody's talking about it, especially after that shuttle to Riley Williams. And here's what's funny. Cristobal talked about that Riley Williams pitch. I went back and watched. Riley Williams got blown up on that play. The dude basically picked him up, threw him to the side, went after Cam, missed Cam, and this is culture. Riley got right back up and tried to get into play, and that's where he got the ball. But Riley got blown up that play, and Mario talked about that, and that's the culture. That's what's happening. You get beat, you get up and see what else you can do,
The early spread is 12.5 in the game right now.
It opened at 14.
Yeah, open at 14. It's 12.5 right now, though, and over-under is 55.5, so a little bit lower of an under-over than we've seen with the Canes because I think they're expecting the defense to be, a little stingier, but we'll see. And then Yeah, I think it is probably one of the better games of the week, anyways. On this guy, that's why game day is there, definitely because of Miami. But we did drop a ranking to Penn State, which is like Penn State. Like I can see, like what? Come on, like if there was a team that clearly had a game where you were like, all right, look, Miami almost stumbled a little bit here, and now we're gonna pop them up there. But Penn State,
But you know what? I'm not even mad. I don't care about rankings.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could care less about rankings right now. We just need to win games. Yeah. Once you stack games, you'll win. But I get it. People, that's something for the fans to get mad about. But really, it doesn't matter. You know what matters is the computer. When the computer rolls out those rankings, that's the ones that matter.
True. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think it's a tough game as a comedian, like you said. I'm going to be on stage when it starts. So I'll pop off. I'll watch the second half again. I'll watch the replay later. But hopefully, it's not like last week when I came off stage and I was like, what the hell is happening?
Oh my gosh. I was on stage when that whole thing went down. And I told some fans on our last podcast, I said, I wish I was there to witness and be a part of that 6 to 10 minutes or whatever it took to make that call. Not even if it went the other way. It's just so exciting to witness something like that live. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad it wasn't before I went on, because I don't know if I could have shot this, but I would have been everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It was nerve-wracking to watch, but it's very rare at this point in the season you get that level of emotion where you're just like sitting there hanging, because it was just waiting. I'm in this random bar in Boca Raton. I'm like, what the hell?
But that's why we love college football, man. It makes us feel like that. That's why we love the Canes. And for everybody watching, thank you so much to 920 people. Subscribe to this podcast already. We only been out less than 2 months. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button. We got audio side. We got that podcast is streaming wherever you listen. Forrest takes care of that side. He's doing a great job. So, hey, man, we appreciate you guys. Coming up here in a second, we're going to talk to Kelsey Farese. She got all our SEC news. I told you Kentucky was going to beat Ole Miss. I told you they had a chance. Anyway, we'll talk to her in a second. Anything we need to cover about the Canes before we give our predictions after Kelsey? Anything else for us?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot in the almost instant reaction. So if you haven't listened to that, that's up. Go listen to that or watch that. And if you can't watch it, listen to it in your car. That's up on audio. And I think that I think we kind of know. We've talked about Cal. We talked about Cal a lot coming up because we were like, they got to travel. It's a late night game. We might go to it, this and that. So I think we're ready for predictions.
Yeah, and now people are agreeing with me too. Forrest's like, it's a late game. I was like, these are kids, 18, 19, 20 years old. He's like, it's going to be like 12:30. What? Who cares? 10:30? You're talking about men that are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old playing at 10:30, and that's going to be a problem. I was like, stop. If we were playing, that would be a problem. I wouldn't even make it to the game. I would be sleeping at 8:30. They wouldn't be able to wake me up. If it was us, but kids, man, I'm not even worried. The travel, I'm not even worried about. They're going to get there. They locked in. I feel it. This is going to be a 21-point win. I'm calling it right now. I was wrong last week, and I admitted it in the almost instant reaction. I was wrong about that. Mm-hmm. But I think this is what I will say, and I will stick to this. I think Miami, of course, there's going to be close games we don't see, but Miami will have more lopsided wins than close games this year. That's what I feel. Hey, what's going on? It's Michael. Yup, man, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Help us out a little bit. We're trying to grow this station. Thanks because of you. We're already over 500 subscribers, and it means a lot. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. We appreciate it. It's all about Comics on Canes and the U. All right, let's bring her in right now. She got all our SEC news. Kelsey Farese, how are you?
Hey, guys. Well, I'm wearing black today. We are currently in a state of mourning, as you know, and I saw that you are rubbing in my face a little bit.
Yep.
Ole Miss fell to Kentucky this weekend, and it's been dark. It's been a dark day.
Now let me ask you this. It's interesting being on a win streak, but as soon as you lose, are all the fans turning their back and going after Lane?
that's sort of what we're seeing. I think sometimes when things have been built up so much, and I think as a program, there's been a lot of promises and a lot of hype made. I mean, there's been mentions and interviews after interview, quoting, "We're looking for the natty." And I think that gets people way up on a high horse. But at the same time, real Ole Miss fans, we actually knew it's not the Georgia game. It's not the games down the road that you have to look out for as an Ole Miss fan. It's these games that people assume are going to be an easy win. Those are usually the games that we lose historically. It doesn't matter.
You knew, Kelsey, this wasn't going to be an easy win. You knew Kentucky had a defense. You even mentioned that.
I knew absolutely that just because their defense, it was so deep, just like an NFL team. But the thing was, I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to keep up with the pace of Ole Miss, but they were, and they were really able to dominate. So, and also, I think that your good buddy Mark Stoops, I think he learned a lot from the Georgia game. Not really going for it, not making those aggressive play calls, and he wasn't going to make the same mistakes against Ole Miss that he made against Georgia. And here we are.
Wow. I love it for Stoops. I love Mark Stoops. We're good friends. I'm happy he pulled out the win. I did say if anybody, the upset of the week was going to be this, I did still pick Ole Miss to win, and I will admit that too, because I didn't think they could keep up either. But I did feel that this was the upset of the week, if there was an upset to happen. Crazy. All right, let's talk about the craziness of Alabama and Georgia. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I was on stage. I get off the stage, and it's 28-0. What happened in the first quarter? How'd they score that many points?
Look, I think this was all coming down to coaching. I think Kirby was being a little conservative. I don't think that he was making the right calls. I think they went in at halftime and they were like, we've got to flip the script. We've got to make some big changes, because they knew that they had just as talented of an offense. And if they could get them out there, they could start making some plays. And I also think maybe Alabama went in at halftime and they were like, we're sitting pretty, everything's good, and started maybe underestimating them a little bit, thinking that they had it in the bag. But what was truly mind-blowing to me was the talent from the freshmen, these 17-year-old kids that were getting
Riley Williams.
I mean, absolutely crazy. 75-yard touchdown. And then another freshman catches that interception in the end zone, the game-ending score. Just absolutely insane, bonkers. And I think it was only like a minute and 13 seconds after Georgia had just scored that they turned and flipped it. So a perfect example, a prime example of SEC football. Very competitive, very just nasty, dirty, and fun to watch.
And by the way, Forrest, did you see that Alabama play where the freshman intercepted the ball away from Georgia?
Yeah.
You know who was trying to catch that ball on Georgia?
Who?
Colby Young, the guy that left Miami, because we all said at Miami he never went after jump. He's 6'something.
I didn't realize that.
6'3", 6'4", never went after jump balls. And he's always taller than everybody. Yeah. And he wasn't hungry to get the ball. And he let this freshman basically take the ball, didn't even try for it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's what it was.
It was like, he even said in his post-game interview, he said it was like a slow motion grab, and then he spun off. He was so elusive too when he took off with the ball. I mean, it was absolutely, he was like, it looks a lot faster on tape, but it was slow motion for me. And I was like, I bet that was just a moment in time where he was like, am I actually out here doing this right now for Alabama? This is crazy.
But Colby Young, man, the receiver, it's a thing where we had that problem with him at Miami. So much potential, but like he didn't get 50-50 balls, hardly ever. Yeah. And it was crazy to see that's the guy that didn't go after the ball and the freshman took it from him. So yeah.
Trump was there. It was a spectacle. I cannot imagine how electric that it was to be there. Also, just watching the Alabama fans crumble up until, right until the end. They kept showing all the fans, and they were all just almost weeping. They couldn't believe it. But
that's what I love, Kelsey. That's what college football brings. And no matter what that's why, to me, college is way better than the NFL. I mean, college football brings it out. You feel it's so invested. Like I've been to 9 Super Bowls, covering 9 Super Bowls. There's so many. Half the people there just want to say they went to the Super Bowl because normal fans can't afford it. So college is something everybody truly wants their team to win. All right.
Also the players. Good example. The Ravens walloped the Bills the other night, and at the end of the game, Allen and Lamar Jackson are hugging. They're just talking, whatever, talking about how many millions they have. At the end of the Miami-Virginia Tech game, Cam Ward went up to his cousin, Drones, and he was not having it.
He didn't want nothing to do with it.
He was not having it. It was like, so the emotion is so much greater. You know?
All right, Kelsey, let's talk about your picks for this week. What games should we look out for? Let's run through them real quick.
Well, of course, I'm going to be watching Ole Miss is traveling to South Carolina, an especially interesting game considering the fact that early in the season, South Carolina beat Kentucky. So who knows what's going to happen there. Ole Miss, I'm hoping if they win this game, this is going to be one of their beginning of a redemption story. Like, look, we're getting this literal lane train back on track, and we are going to go for the natty, okay? And so I'm really hoping that they come out to win. I think they're favorited to win, and I'm going to put my money on it. Ole Miss is going to beat South Carolina 31-22 on the road.
I'll go with that. I'll go with Ole Miss. I think they get it back on track. I think you can't compare South Carolina and Kentucky. Teams play different against different people. They match up different. So I will go Ole Miss. Forrest?
I found out that Jackson Dart's dad's name is Brandon. I don't like that name. So I'm going again. I'm just kidding. I think Ole Miss gets back on track. They're a better team than South Carolina. They have the offense.
Rudy!
By the way, Brandon is spelled B and then 3 R's and then 2 A's and an N and a W. Anyways, no, I'm going to go with Ole Miss, obviously, in this one, but I'm going to go just around where Kelsey's at. I'm going to say 33-19.
Nice. What do we got next, Kelsey?
Honestly, I'm so heartbroken over the Ole Miss thing. I don't know if I have it in me to watch any other games, but I guess if I'm going to, I'm going to say I'm going to watch the Tennessee at Arkansas game. I know Tennessee are heavy favorites, but Arkansas is just one of those slippery, kind of elusive teams, you know, just right when people think they're pegging them in the right spot, they're going to, you know, bump it up. So it is going to be a road game for Tennessee. But they're coming off a bye week, and Arkansas is coming off a pretty nasty loss from Texas A&M. All that being said, I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm still going to go Tennessee is going to win on the road 37-23.
I agree with that. I mean, Tennessee, I think, could blow the door. You're right. At some days, Arkansas is sneaky good. They're sneaky good. But Tennessee is just a powerhouse to me. I mean, I think you're going to see Tennessee in the semifinals for sure. For sure. Mark it down. Tennessee will be in the semifinals, maybe even championship game. I can't see this game being close. I don't know what the score is, but I will say this. They win by 21. So let me guess. 45-24? Forrest?
I think it'll be closer. I think Tennessee's big wins have come against schools that have gotten exposed, like Oklahoma last week, lost to K-State. Big. And so it is at Arkansas. I do think Tennessee will win it, but I'm going to say like 24-21. Very close.
Rudy.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same. It's going to be a little bit closer than what everybody else is predicting. I'll say 27. Did you say 27-24? Is that no, you said 24-21. So I'm going to go 27-24.
All right. We got one more game, Kelsey, or is that it?
Honestly, that's it for me, guys.
Right.
I'm in a state of mourning. So I've got to put all my time, energy, and focus on Ole Miss, getting them back on track, and then we'll see. We'll see what the next week can do for us. I'm still recovering, a little wounded.
We'll send flowers from Comics on Canes. We'll send you flowers for the morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Thank you, Kelsey. How can people follow you?
Guys, y'all can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, at Kelsey Farese, or on my podcast, The Lawyer's Daughter.
All right, the big game, Cal versus the Miami Hurricanes. I'm going to go last on this one. So, Rudy, we'll let you kick it off.
Well, obviously, I know Miami's going to end up winning this thing, but by how much? That is the big question here. They're playing at Cal, right?
Yep.
At Cal. So I'm going to say it's a little bit closer. Obviously, with the time change, not as big of a factor as what most people are saying it is, but it is going to be a little bit of a factor. I'm going to go 34-27 Miami Hurricanes victorious over the Bears.
Oh, wow. 34. 27, only a 7-point win, huh?
I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as what people are predicting,
Okay.
but it's going to only because, like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a time change. It's a little bit later. They are kids, as Michael has pointed out, but it'll be close. It won't be. It's not. I don't think it's going to come down to the final, 50-50 ball in the end zone. But it's going to be it's going to be. It'll be a fun game to watch, and luckily Miami's going to pull it out.
Forrest.
I think that Miami's going to win the game. I think that the defense will play better. I think we're getting Bain back. I think we get him back this week.
No, we do. It's been announced. We get him back.
Yeah, I know, but I said Virginia Tech. I'll believe it when he's out there. So, but I think we're going to get some players back. I think the edibles are very strong in California, and if a couple players eat those, that is a benefit to Cal. But I do think that their defense is staunch enough that they will stall some drives out. Maybe Borregales kicks 4 field goals. We score 3 touchdowns, so 33-10 is what I'm saying.
If you think Cal is going to hold Miami to its lowest point total, you are absolutely crazy. Both of y'all nonsense.
Okay.
Nonsense. Cal is not holding Miami under 35 points. Are you crazy? Virginia Tech couldn't do that, and they had a good defense. Cal's defense, I know they're pretty good on pass defense. But what do you have the rankings on their defense or anything?
10th in the country in defense, overall defense, and scoring defense, 12.8.
Nah, they haven't played anybody. I don't care about that. Forget about that.
I love it when the stats go against you. You're like, that doesn't mean shit.
I love it. It's like those conspiracy podcasts. It's like, well, look, you're looking at the wrong article. Find
find the article that makes me right.
No.
You want some more stats, or you?
No, we're good. I will say that I think they will win by at least 21, 28. I think they're back. They're going to get right back on track. 45. The lowest they'll score is 42. 45, 18. I mean, this is like first quarter. In the first quarter, 21-7. 21-7. And like I said, that Virginia Tech game, if George would have caught that ball in the end zone, it was 21-7, it would have been a blowout. Yeah. That whole shift of the interception and stuff, that changed the whole game. Cal will not get that break. And Ward, let me tell you, if you don't think corners are going to be going deep and then coming back to the Restrepo, the out route, they all saw that. So Ward needed to be ready for that, because what Ward was doing was reading the corner, flying back to stop the post route or the corner route, and then coming to the out, this corner was just floating back to the out. And so you got to watch out for that. You got to watch out.
There's a new play where Restrepo falls on his back. They'll come in, and then he gets up and runs because they're going to take his sports.
Well, you can't run after you're down, Forrest. Not in college.
He doesn't have the ball. He falls on his back. Gets up and then runs. I saw it. I was at practice the other
day. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, Rudy, how can they find you, man?
RudyPavichComedy.com. This week, I'm going to be in Las Vegas Wednesday and Thursday with Michael Yo. Friday, I'm at the Pasadena Ice House. And then Friday night late, I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood. Saturday, Michael and I will be at the Pasadena Ice House once again for a couple of shows. And then after that, just check out the website, because I think we're going to be hitting DC and Cincinnati and Cleveland, and man, there's so much coming up. So just check out the website, RudyPavichComedy.com.
All right, Forrest, what do you got, bro?
I'm still in Florida. This Wednesday, I will be in Winter Park, Florida, outside of Orlando at the Morse Code Lounge, one night only. It's on my website, forrestshaw.net. And this weekend, I'll be at Side Splitters, the Wesley Chapel location. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come on out, except for obviously the late show Saturday. You'll be watching the game. I'll be on stage.
That's right. And hopefully the podcast, the Almost Instant Reaction, can be on Sunday. So we're going to try to do it a little bit quicker, not 2 days later. So I have a residency in Las Vegas. If you ever come to Las Vegas, every Wednesday I'm at Kimmel's. We're about to change that into 2 nights starting next year, but I'll tell you about that when it happens. This weekend, I'll be at the Ice House with Rudy. And then DC. Then we're going to be in Madison, Wisconsin, I think. Then we're going to be in Washington, D.C. We're all over the place. MichaelYo.com. And for all the people in Phoenix, Tempe, Arizona that came out to my shows, people from other states came in to watch my special, thank you so much. It's going to be called Snack Daddy, and that comes out January 28th. That's the week after we win the national championship, which is on the 20th. So it'll work out perfect. Yeah. There you go. All right. Thank you for watching Comics on Case. Please leave your comments. We love reading your comments on the air. And Forrest, podcast will be up. It's all about the U. Later. Hey, does Wisconsin have a sign? What do y'all do?
This.